Cut the polystyrene into small squares as a top priority. I worked at a small AV company. We dealt with thousands of NEC displays every year and management had absolutely no idea how to deal with the waste from each job, mainly polystyrene. We used to throw it in the skip, job done gets taken away. The company hired a new general manager, Martin his name was, who worked with me for 2 months. At this job I ran many roles as it was a small company. I was busy all day every day with warehouse management, PC configuration, IT support and also working in accounts with purchasing and ordering stock, etc. My pay didn't even cover warehouse management, let alone any of the other jobs. Martin decided to email me with a request on how I should manage the job that I had been working at for 5+ years and knew like the back of my hand. Martin's top priority on the email was cutting the polystyrene into small squares to save space in the bins. Yep. I emailed Martin back to explain that if I'm standing there cutting polystyrene cubes into small squares, then most of my work time would be spent doing that and leaving no time for anything else. He replied by saying that it should still be the top priority on my things to do, so yeah, I took that literally. Nothing got done, no stock orders, no kit preparation, no deliveries, no PC builds. I couldn't fetch anything down from the racks on the forklift. I was the only one trained to do so. Absolutely nothing was done apart from cutting polystyrene into small cubes. Martin even brought in his own saw from home to help me save time cutting the polystyrene up, lol. 2 days went by, I had cut over 100+ blocks of polystyrene into small squares to save room in the bin. Everything in the company was falling to shit and Martin came down in a panic. Nothing had been done, like I said, as I didn't have the time if I cut the polystyrene into small squares, so I ended up having an argument with Martin in the warehouse asking about why the absolute fuck am I cutting polystyrene into small squares. Martin said it was to save money on buying skips. Then I pointed out that they have paid me more than an extra collection over 2 days of cutting the polystyrene up. He walked off. A day later I receive an email from my other manager who was higher up than Martin, which basically said I have a disciplinary meeting at lunchtime that day. My reply was obviously no. I needed time to prepare what I was going to say and made them push it back a week. I collected statements on my work from all my colleagues that were willing. Some even confronted Martin and called him a fucking idiot, which quite rightly, he was. I collected my year's work, every job, every PC configuration, every order, every delivery, every kit prep, etc. Everything was piled into 6 folders of shit to throw at them. So I had my disciplinary meeting and threw everything at them, and they were absolutely speechless with all the shit I was doing and that I had been told to prioritize cutting fucking polystyrene into small cubes to save on bin space. When asked if I had any questions, I asked one that shut them up instantly: what risk assessment was carried out before asking an employee to cut up bonded polystyrene and what PPE was provided. I have a recording of the meeting and every single manager sat there in silence. My question went unanswered and one said, "We'll answer that in our report," which I never received. Anyway, Martin was made redundant soon after. He was asked to drop his work equipment to me at the office. He sent it with a courier instead. Screw your HOA and its ridiculous rules. Back in high school, I was all about my car. Don't get me wrong, it was a rolling POS, but it was my car. It had a trade-in value of maybe $5, but it was my car. I was learning how to take care of it, by which I mean I found where the dipstick was and how to pull it. I hadn't yet moved on to tire inflation. One step at a time. One day after school I drove over to my friend's place. We jump out, pop the hood, pull the dipstick, check the oil, and it was fine, so put the hood back down. I had no idea what an HOA was nor what it meant. I was just a happy ignorant teenager eager to demonstrate how responsible I was with my wheels. A few days go by and we're hanging out at my friend's place when his mom comes home. She starts giving us the business in that I'm annoyed but trying not to be voice about a warning she received from the HOA regarding repairing cars in your driveway, complete with a photo of my POS with the hood up. Really, she was being pretty good, though clearly annoyed. We explained that we weren't repairing anything, that I was just checking the oil level, and didn't even need any tools. Picture just had the hood up. She softened quite a bit, and the focus of her annoyance shifted from us to the HOA, since it's entirely reasonable for anyone to check the level of oil in a car. She finds her copy of the HOA rules and we all read them together. Sure enough, there's a bylaw that says you can't repair a car in the driveway. I protest that I wasn't repairing anything, I was just checking the oil. Reading the exact rules on exactly what was forbidden sparked an idea. I look at my friend, raise an eyebrow, and say, "Fight the power?" Fight the power. I propose my plan to his mom and ask for permission since she's going to have to deal with the fallout. She's on board since she thinks this is supremely stupid, and we set in motion. Cue the MC. Every day after school my friend and I drove our POS machines to his place, parked in their driveway, raised the hoods, and just looked at the engines. No tools, we weren't even near them. We didn't check the oil, we didn't so much as touch them nor wipe them down with a rag. All we did was expose them to the birds, the sky, and God above to just let them breathe. After a while I got bored, so I started setting up an easel and drawing my engine 10 minutes at a time. My friend had to one-up me, so decided he needed some tasteful artistic photos with his engine. He judged the best photos would be him laying over the engine shirtless, stroking and fake kissing it. Just absurd over-the-top moronic high schooler stuff. Predictably the HOA was on us like stink on shit. The warnings quickly turned into fines, complete with pictures of both vehicles with their hoods up. Then more pictures with mine with its hood up and an easel in front. Then even more pictures with my friend's with its hood up, him laying in the engine compartment and me taking pictures of him with a camera. Soon enough his mom let us know it was time for the monthly HOA meeting. Of course all three of us had to go in person to protest the fines. So the motley pair of us show up along with his mom, and his mom's stack of fine notices. I bring along my engine drawing, and we printed some of my friend's boudoir engine photos larger than normal. After a while it was new business time, and my friend's mom steps up. I'm pretty sure they expected her to play the "my son and his friend are morons, please make these fines go away since I didn't know what they were doing" sympathy card. Nope, not a chance. She politely but firmly attested that she was being sent fines for something that wasn't in the bylaws, and asked the board to stop. One of the board members spoke up saying that working on cars was against the bylaws, and clearly that's what was going on since both hoods were up. Oh, you should have seen their faces when she corrected them that the bylaw said no repairs were allowed, that there were no repairs going on in any of the pictures since no tools were visible, and that we were just doing art projects for school. Even longer faces were seen when she showed my, truthfully completely terrible, drawing of my engine, along with the date stamped a couple weeks ago pictures. This was back when film cameras stamped a date directly on the picture, of my friend trying to seduce his engine. The HOA president called for a 5-minute recess, during which the board huddled in a corner of the room. After the recess, the president succinctly said, "Ma'am, we are going to dismiss all your fines. Have a nice evening." We damn near danced out of that meeting. Being the obnoxious shitheads that my friend and I were, we had to do the drawing/photo routine a few more times just to make sure they weren't going to start sending more fines. They wisely didn't, and being victorious we soon found other ways to annoy them. Don't let your kid have consequences? Okay. So I'm a 23F nanny. For the family I work for there are 7 kids. Yes, 7. All ranging from 14 years old to 10 months old. I have been working for them for 8 months. And never really had an issue. They are a good family for the most part. A key part here is the kids are all homeschooled so they do not get out a lot. Unfortunately that leads to mom and dad spoiling them quite a lot. And since I've started had a bit of a discipline issue. They throw tantrums, throw things and scream a lot. Finally mom recently put on discipline because their tantrums led to me getting an injury. I was pushed down the stairs. So she implemented a timeout routine. And it was going well for almost everyone. Here is where the story truly begins. The second to youngest at 2.5 almost 3. His tantrums are some of the worst and instead of really discipling him she coddles. If he screams and yells she just picks him up and gives him whatever he wants. He will also throw things and hit whoever is telling him no. And mom doesn't do anything. On Wednesday this week mom had an appointment and when he woke up from his nap and she wasn't there he freaked out. I tried to calm by playing games, food, or reading books. But nothing worked, he just got louder and more aggressive. He even hit me and his siblings. Eventually he woke the baby and when I got her tried to even hurt her. So with no other real options working to calm him down. I pick him up, sit him on his bed and said, "Time out, you do not behave this way. When you calm down you can come out." He finally is calming down after several minutes and mom comes home. She was quite upset that he got a timeout because she says that he is too young and doesn't know better. Now I understand he is young, but I've been a nanny for a while and I have learned 2 to 3 is normal age for discipline, so they learn to know better. I only do a minute per year age and only goes longer if they can't calm down, though I check in every minute. She was also upset I used his room as a timeout. Now that part I get and can understand that at this age associating timeout with where he sleeps. I can agree we don't do that. But I had to ask, when he's acting like this, what do you want me to do? She said, "Let me handle it. If I'm not there, give him what he wants, it's not worth the fight." Okay. But what if it's something I can't give? She replied, "If you can't just let him go through it, he'll calm down quickly." I looked at her like, "Are you serious? You do realize how he can be right? But okay." Cue malicious compliance. The next day mom had another appointment and she was gone when he woke up. And of course he wanted her and only her. I said, sorry, she's not here, why don't we play a game? He screams no. I ask if he wants a snack? No, he screams and starts slapping at my hands. I ask to go read a book or go to his siblings' room for playtime. He screams again and hit me in the face. I told him please don't hit me. So he screams in my face and goes off throwing things at me and everyone around and just goes off. I tell everyone to go to their rooms. I tried everything to calm him down and it didn't work, so I did exactly what she told me. Absolutely nothing. He continues his tirade, throwing things, pulling things off shelves, and screaming. I obviously kept him from things that would hurt him like glass, ceramics, and when he got on a table to push something I picked him up and put him down. Though he did bite me really hard when I did that. Not enough to bleed but enough to leave a good mark. I let this go for about 15-ish minutes until mom came home. And when she did he was still freaking out. She just goes, what is going on? I explained the situation and told her I'm just doing what she said and letting him cry it out till he calms down. She said that's not what I meant. I asked what did you want? She didn't really have an answer. I told her I couldn't use discipline and I couldn't calm him. You said to let him go, he'd calm down, and he hasn't yet. I made sure anything dangerous was taken away but I didn't know what else I could do. Now respectively I could have picked up what he threw around but I wanted her to see what he was capable of. And I wasn't going to risk getting hurt again from taking things away. She looked upset but didn't say anything and just looked at him still throwing his tantrum. The baby wakes up and she goes to get her. When she comes back to try and calm him he screams to pick him up and he hits her and keeps going till she puts the crying baby on the ground and picks him up. I was kinda shocked she fed into it. I told her he's old enough to know what he's doing. He knows that he'll get what he wants when he does these things and it's only going to get worse. And if it's going to continue I'm going to continue to do nothing because I won't risk getting hurt or the other kids in the process. I showed her my bite mark and she went pale a bit and said he did that. I said yes he did. She took a breath and said why don't you go home for the day and I'll talk to dad about this. When I came to work this morning there was a timeout chair for him. And I'm allowed to use it at my discretion.